Hello and welcome everyone. It is time for Jim Comics Top Picks for New Comic Book Day this upcoming Wednesday, February 6, 2019. I can't believe we're into February already. The year is just flying by. I hope everybody's staying warm where they are. It's pretty cold. I'm on the West Coast and I got snow and it's, it's like -3 or 4 or something. It's not super cold, but I know a lot of Canada and the US is getting hammered with some really winter conditions. So wherever you are, stay warm and safe because man, it doesn't look nice out there. So anyways, as usual, I'll run through my top picks, or what I'm looking at this week. I'll give you my top covers and top picks at the end, as well as a few spec books. I want to give a shout out today to, I want to thank, first I got to thank all my subscribers. Thanks to everybody for watching my videos and taking the time to send me comments. I really appreciate it. So, and I mentioned before a few times, I am on Instagram and I do put stuff on there. So, if you happen to be on Instagram, you want to check out what I put out there. I put stuff out usually every day or every couple days, so some good stuff on there. So my shout out today for Comic Shop is Torpedo Comics in Las Vegas. Looks like a wicked shop. It's a huge store and they've got some really high-end books. Nice graded books. They've got an AT-AT from Star Wars like right in the middle of the store. It looks like it's coming through the ceiling. That looks really cool. And the nice thing is, it's really well run. It's a high-end store, and the owner is John Dolmayan, who's the drummer for System of a Down, and I love the song Toxicity. So John, if you're watching this, I want to use that song as my intro. I don't make a dime off of this, so. I'd love to get permission to use that as my intro song because I love that song. The drumming's a little weak on it. I mean, the guitar and vocals are really strong, but the drumming's a little weak. I'm just kidding. You gotta have a laugh. No, I love that song. It's really good, and I would love to use that as an intro. But hey, if I don't get permission, I'd get all my videos taken down for violations. So, anyways. That's my shout out is Torpedo Comics. Looks like a really nice store, and I'm definitely going to check that out when next time I go to Vegas. So that looks really cool. So I'm going to start with my independents from Aftershock. Oberon #1. I talked about this before, and I'm going to be honest. I may or may not be buying this. I'm going to flip through when I get to my store and see if it's any good. But I don't know. There's 2 covers for it. So yeah, I may or may not get that one. From Dynamite, this is one I'm not going to buy, but I want to let you know what's out there. It's Red Sonja #1. I'm a big Conan fan, and I got her first appearance in Conan and all that kind of stuff, but unless Marvel's putting it out, I just don't think I'm going to follow it. So if Marvel brings her back, then hey, I don't know how long Dynamite's got the rights for that, but anyways. So that's it from Independence. There's not really a ton from them this week that I'm looking at. From DC... there's a Batman 428 foil cover. It looks really cool. It's for the death of Robin back in I believe that was late 80s, if my memory serves me right. I've got that one in the first print, but if it's something you're interested in, get it, but don't expect that one to become a super valuable book because it won't. But it is a very nice looking cover. I bought the foil version of Detective Comics 880 a few months ago. Just because I really like the cover, so I wanted that in my collection. But anyways, and one thing I find with the foils, though, like trying to display those, it's tough because they always, unless the light hits it right, they look really black and dark. So even though the foils are nice, sometimes they just don't display well. Anyways, and you can't try to scan those. You can't because they just go black. But anyways, Batman 64 is out this week. Boy, I sure hope Tom King's doing something better because man, the last few issues have sucked balls. There's 2 covers for that. Cover B is really nice. That's a Sean Gordon Murphy cover. I love his work with Batman White Knight, and he is working on Volume 2, which I mentioned a few times. And Volume 1 is, boy, if you haven't got Batman White Knight, that first volume, those 8 issues, I highly suggest you pick those up if you can find it for a decent price, because that's one that's going to eventually be made into a movie or something. I can almost guarantee that. Female Furies #1, that is coming out this week. 2 covers for that one. I'm only interested in cover B. That's a Matina cover. It's a really nice cover. Definitely going to grab that one. Harley Quinn 58, 2 covers for that. But again, I'm only interested in cover B, and that's the Chew cover. There's been a bit of buzz about this one for quite a while now, and it's sold out of Midtown and whatever. And the price will probably jump up to $15, $20 range, I would expect. in the first week, but don't. This is one of those ones where, you know, If you like it, buy it. Try to get it for cover. Don't go dropping 20, 30 bucks on it, expecting it to be $100 in a month, because I really don't expect that. I think it's going to hover in that $10 to $15 range, and that's where it's going to stay. But it is a nice cover. If I can get it for cover price, I'll buy it. If not, well, I'm not going to get it. So Justice League 17, 2 covers for that, A and B. And we had our first appearance of Perpetua in the annual, which I hope you all got, because she's going to be a big player going forward. And because she showed up in the annual, there's a very good chance you're going to get more about her in this issue. I've been buying Justice League all the way through, and it's really good, so I'm definitely getting it anyways. But if you're not, you might want to pick that one up. That's it from DC. From Marvel, Avengers number 14, you got 3 covers for that. You got regular priced A and B, and then you got a one for $25. And the Shadow Colonel, he showed up in, oh geez, I showed a cameo of him in a couple issues ago. I think it was 12. Pretty sure it was Avengers 12 he showed up in, a cameo. And he's on the cover of this issue, so it's very likely you're going to get at least a first appearance, if not a first full appearance in this one. So definitely pick up Avengers 14. And this is kind of that vampire story arc they're doing, and Blade's going to have a big role, so it looks like it'll be pretty good. So definitely recommend that one. Captain Marvel's got a Start Here sampler. It's a free comic that you're probably going to want to pick up, because it's obviously revolves around the movie and stuff, and you never know what's going to pop up in it. So I'm definitely going to try and get one of those. Conan number 3 is out, and man, I love this Conan series right now. There's 5 covers for that. I'm only interested in cover A. I like Esad Ribich's artwork. I think it's amazing. It reminds me a lot of Frank Frazetta's work from back in the day. Not quite as like Frank Frazetta did a lot of darker colors and stuff, but the style is sort of reminiscent of that. But I really like it. It's well written. Jason Aaron's writing it, and man, is it good. And being a 3rd issue, it sounds like the Crimson Witch is going to have a bigger role in this one. So yeah, definitely get it. There's also a second print of cover A. Or sorry, not cover A, of issue 1 is out this week as well, and a second print of issue 2. I'm trying to grab both of one copy of each of those, because it's man, I love that series, really good. And sometimes it's funny because these second prints, I mentioned it when Thanos run, and you see it with the Hulk 377, that 3rd print. Some of these second and 3rd prints are really low print runs and hard to find. So if you find it and you can get it for cover price, pick one up. Daredevil number 1 is relaunching, or well, Daredevil's relaunching with number 1 this week. There's a whole bunch of covers. I'm only going to grab a copy of cover A. We'll see what happens in it. Looking forward to it, but I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that whole Man Without Fear little miniseries I did. I thought it was okay, but I actually only bought the first 3, and then I dropped it. So Immortal Hulk number 13, boy, I don't know what to say about this one. If you haven't been buying this, you're missing out. It's a great series. I bought this thing all the way through. I recommend pretty much every issue. There's 2 covers. I mean, you got Alex Ross doing gorgeous artwork for cover A's. This whole entire run he's been doing the covers. And last issue we got our first appearance of the One Below All, and very likely this will be your first full appearance of the One Below All, so definitely pick up Immortal Hulk number 13. And it's funny, I read through a lot of the older, the first few issues of Immortal Hulk, and several times in there the Hulk is called the King of Hell. So I'm wondering if in this issue the Hulk will be labeled as the King of Hell. And I'm just going to pause for 1 second. All right, so I just wanted to grab Immortal Hulk 11 for a second to show you. So I showed this on my Instagram the other day. So I forgot to scan in. I mentioned before I scan all my books into my computer, and then I print them out and put them up on my wall. But that way I don't have to worry about damaging my books. But I scanned this one, and I was kind of looking through the background, because if you flip it upside down, it actually shows the mountains, and then you got these columns. But anyways, right underneath the Hulk's armpit, you got this guy, this creepy dude standing here. And I'm like, oh man, I never noticed that before. I just thought, because it kind of blends in with the background. And I put that on Instagram, like, who's this creepy dude? And somebody sent me a text saying, I think it's Virgil and Adam from Dante's Divine Comedy. And that totally makes sense, because in the story, Virgil ends up leading him and kind of helping him out of hell. So we'll see if that's what happens. But I also want to mention that reading through the early issues of Immortal Hulk, He's labeled as, I just mentioned that, he's labeled as the King of Hell. I kind of cool if the Hulk ends up being called the King of Hell. That would be pretty wicked, because his rage, I don't, who knows, we'll see what happens. But anyways, through all that, Immortal Hulk 13, boy, pick it up, especially with all these Alex Ross covers, boy, this run that's one that's going to be sought after for years. Old Man Quill #1, that drops this week. I don't think I'm going to be buying it. It's another one of these, I believe it's 12 issues, and there's a ton of covers for it. If you're interested in that, pick it up. I'm not. Iron Man #8, this one looks like a good one. Digital Demon in a Bottle. As you know, you had Demon in a Bottle for Iron Man 128 years ago. And this looks like kind of a modern take on it, so definitely pick that one up, and really, really nice cover art on that one too. So I'm grabbing cover A for sure for that. So that is it for my books this week, folks. It is kind of a lighter week, but my top covers, I got Batman 64 cover B, that Sean Gordon Murphy cover. I love his artwork. I love what he did with Batman White Knight. Female Furies #1 cover B, that Matina cover. That is a really nice cover. Harley Quinn 58 cover B. The Chew cover, that is a really nice one. Batman 428, that foil cover. It is a nice cover, and I like that book. If it's one, if you don't have the original and you like it, try to pick it up, but don't overpay for it. Immortal Hulk #13 cover A. Alex Ross, man, his stuff is just stunning. He's been doing amazing work for so long. He's got to be one of my top cover artists anyways. My picks this week are Harley Quinn 58 cover B. I think that one will do okay, but like I say, don't overpay for that. Really try to get it for cover price, because I think it's going to end up in that $15 range, and that's where it's going to stay, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Sometimes these things do weird things. Immortal Hulk #13 should be the first full appearance of the One Below All. And is the Hulk considered named the King of Hell? We'll find out. Conan #3. Crimson Witch, sounds like she's got a pretty good role in this one, and I love that character. Those creepy Children of the Corn kind of things. That's awesome. Also, Avengers 14, you got your first Shadow Colonel, and he's on the cover as well, so that looks like a good one. And Justice League 17, that's kind of an honorable mention, because it's, I don't know if you're going to get more, if it's going to be a first full appearance of Perpetua, who showed up in the annual, or maybe just a little bit more about her backstory and stuff. We'll find out, but this Justice League 17 looks like a good one too, so that's definitely one I am getting. So that is it for my books this week. As far as spec books go, I got a few. Well, this one is one I talked about a little while back. It's Detective Comics 988. It's your first Lady Firefly that shows up in there. So that is one. It's pretty cheap, inexpensive. I would definitely pick up a copy of that, because it's only a matter of time before I believe she's going to end up on the show, if I'm not mistaken, but she may or may not. Mr. Miracle #1. This is the one from, what year was that? 1971. That came out in 71, and that's not a cheap book. So if you can find it, I would highly recommend you pick it up. Just because eventually they're going to have that New Gods movie coming out, and he's going to have a big role in that movie. So if you can't afford that one, the next best thing to do is get Mr. Miracle #1. This is the recent series. That's #1, the first print. And then I got #1, the third print. So they're both, there's also a second print, obviously, but I don't have that one, but I got those through. And this one, this third print, I think is a pretty low print run. So if you can find that one, grab one. But they're not too bad price-wise. So those are good ones to get, because a lot of the movie will probably be based on that, on some of that modern stuff as well. It won't just be all older stuff. And some books that I want to talk about that I don't have. Well, I do have some of them, but I just can't find them for the life of me. I don't know what the heck I did with them. I was going to talk about them the other day, and I've looked, and I mean, I know I got them, but anyways, Amazing Spider-Man 149 is the first appearance of Ben Reilly. It's that whole clone story and stuff. He's created by the Jackal. But so that's a good one. That's a little pricey, but there's a 4-issue crossover series called Exile Returns. Came out in the 90s. It's Web of Spider-Man 118. That one's on the screen right now. That is the first Ben Reilly as a Scarlet Spider. And with the success of Edge of Spider-Verse, there's tons of Easter eggs in there, and you're almost guaranteed that the next movie Scarlet Spider is going to be showing up in there. So I would highly suggest you pick up that Web of Spider-Man 118. 119 is also, well, I'll give you the 4 issues. There's Web of Spider-Man 118 is part 1, then Spider-Man 52 is part 2, then Web 119 is part 3, and then Spider-Man 53 is part 4. So those are the 4 issues. I suggest buying the whole run just for the story arc. But 118 is your first, like I say, is your first Ben Reilly as Scarlet Spider. Web 119 is your first appearance of Kane, who would later on become Scarlet Spider 2 and Tarantula number 3. So that is also a good one. Both those Web of Spider-Man are really good books to get. And like I say, with Sony doing their Spiderverse movies, you know those are going to show up in there. So yeah, those are really good ones. In 1 second here. And while we're on the topic of Spiderverse, you know that the PS4 Spider-Man made his first comic appearance. Now, he did have a cover appearance on Avengers 7. I think it was one of the variant covers. So that's a cover appearance. But his first comic appearance, like actually in the comic, was this Spider-Geddon Zero. I mentioned at the time, this is a really good one to get. There's a bunch of covers. I got cover A. I got, what cover is that one? I think it's cover D, I believe, for that one. And then I got the one for 10. I think that was a one for 10. But that is a really good one to get. Because he is going to be in, with Sony, you know, they've got money in the game. They got the rights to the game. They got the rights to Spider-Man. And with how much money they made with Spider-Verse, I mean, you know they're going to be doing more. And all these characters are going to be showing up, and he's going to be showing up for sure. So try to get Spider-Geddon Zero. If you don't have it, I know a lot of people got this when it came out. But definitely, if you don't have it, go pick it up, because you can still find it pretty cheap. And like I say, that Web of Spider-Man, not 118 and 119, those are 2 really good ones. I would highly suggest you get those 2. So anyways, that's it this week, folks. Take care. Happy hunting. Bye for now.